Hey, what's up, y'all? So this is episode 6 of the Heard You Beloved podcast. I'm doing a second episode back to back. Like I uploaded episode 5 yesterday. And I just felt that I wanted to follow up on a few things that I brought up on the last episode that I kind of, vaguely addressed. And I kind of went left with certain things I was saying. So if you're catching this now, hopefully you catching this after watching episode 5, right? So, oh yeah, and I got my locks down. I usually don't do this. I usually keep my crown covered because, with a do-rag or something. Because, energy transfers, you got to keep this covered. But that's besides the point. But let's get into it. I'm going to try to, get into it and knock this out. So the word of the day, or the theme of the episode, is reconciliation. So I try to look up Webster's dictionary definition and the Urban Dictionary definition of this word. With the Urban Dictionary, I found some weird stuff. It says something about colonizers and all that, this, that, and the third, that this is the word colonizers used for whatever reason. So you ain't gonna have a Urban Dictionary definition today. It's just gonna be the Webster Dictionary definition, which is the restoration of friendly relations, right? So reconciliation. So yesterday's episode 5, I spoke about how I spoke of family relationships and intimate relationships, right? And I started to get into, actually I got personal with two things. Family relationships, which with my brother, I vaguely explained it, and I won't get into it still, how today we're in a real rocky place to the point where we're not even talking to each other. All communication is gone because of something that we're going through. And it be like that sometimes. And for me, I would wish, or I hoped that things couldn't be like this. But sometimes you won't receive closure in certain situations in life. And that's something that you have to learn to accept. Like, just because you are a certain way, or you think a certain way, or you move a certain way, doesn't mean other people are going to mirror that way of being, if you get what I'm saying. Right? For me, I hope and I want for us not to be in this place to where we actually talking. That's my damn brother. That's my blood. And like I explained it, he's my one sibling, my one brother or sister that I know face to face because I grew up with him in the same house. My other siblings, on my father's part, I don't know them. They live in Honduras. Me and my older brother, we grew up with my mother here in the U.S. And for me, I feel like he's the one person that I should be able to call my actual friend. But it's not that. But it is what it is. Like, I'm learning today, and as I get older and as time goes on, that, listen, you have to let go of certain ideas or certain wishful thinking that you have in life. Things are always not going to work out the way you want it to. And you have to accept that. Because if you don't, you're going to be in pain. You're the one going to be suffering while other people are moving on in life, not thinking about you or wanting the same things that you want. Right? And it sucks. It sucks, but hey, it is what it is, baby. You have to let it go and move forward, right? And the other thing I started to talk about was intimate relationships, and I use the example of how I lack certain levels of communication when it comes to intimate relationships due to childhood trauma or past trauma, where certain things, there's certain areas in my life in terms of, childhood and things of that nature that I still need to address by way of maybe going to therapy so that I can bring these things up, address them, and get advice from maybe a professional. Well, from a professional, I might be going to say maybe, like I need to do this. Get advice from a professional so that I can close these gaps and not fail in my intimate relationships because of the fact that I shut down. And the way I explained it in the episode 5 is that when I shut down, I mean, like I've kind of mastered, which it sounds negative and weird, but I've mastered tuning a person out. I've mastered that, like to go in my own bubble, to like have tunnel vision to where I can literally tune the world out. And it's not just the fact that we're having an argument or a disagreement or something get heated. It's just based off of how I grew up, where the communication at home was dysfunctional, or those relationships or what have you was dysfunctional. Now that I'm older, that transferred over into how I deal with or respond to certain situations, if you get what I'm saying. Right? So the fact that I lacked that when I was a kid or what have you, or wasn't able to speak up in many ways as an adult, is the same thing. Right? And like I said, yes, in episode 5, I feel like that's part of the reason some of my intimate relationships fail. Right? But also, when I maybe bring something up that bothers me, that don't sit right with me, in the past, I may have had situations where my lady at the time, my partner, didn't take my feelings or what I expressed to them that's wrong or that I don't agree with into consideration. Like it was kind of just ignored and like it don't matter. So what happens when you ignore somebody, right? They'll try to repeat it or bring it up again, well, in terms of communication, and they want to address it, but if it's being ignored and not respected and honored, you as the person that's bringing it up is going to feel a kind of weight, right? And what happens when there's a pattern of that? A pattern of disrespect, a pattern of your words or your feelings not being honored. You're going to bounce, or in my case, you're going to become a real nasty person. And in that, when I personally get to that level of I'm seeing you differently because you're disrespecting me or you're not honoring how I feel, in order for me to have peace, I'm a bounce. I'm a literally leave a relationship, and I'm a slowly but surely push you away. And that you're going to see, oh, I don't like this Eric. I don't like this E. I don't like this person. And I'm going to become that nasty person that people claim Leos are, or you're going to see the other side of my personality somewhere where I'm real dark. And I'm going to make you so uncomfortable to where you don't want to be around me anymore. Or you have no more feelings for me. Right? But in terms of reconciliation, in the past, I've tried to reach out to people, or these women I've had relationships with, whether or not it was long-term, 6 months, a year, just to try and get closure and try to keep it to where we're cordial. But I think the fact that, like I just said, I become a real nasty, dark person when you do things to change my energy and how I feel about you. When I become that real nasty person, I don't think a lot of women or people that I've dealt with can get over that. And it is what it is. I don't mean to laugh at that, but now that I'm thinking about it, I realize, like, I be asking myself, yo, why don't they want to, like, why they don't F with E no more? Like, why they not trying to, why they stop responding to me? Why they ignoring me? Why they not saying nothing? I'm trying to come back at peace. I'm trying to namaste the situation. But it makes, like, that just clicked and that just registered. That who I became was too much. And they don't want nothing else to do with that. And that right there is okay too. Like, you won't receive closure. Closure may not happen. And you got to be fine with that. Move on in life. Right? And another example of reconciliation is, like, you ever had a friendship with somebody or a family member that you cared for, that y'all was real tight for a long time, and then something may or may not have happened. Something happened, excuse me, to where that relationship or those relationships are different, right? And like I just explained, in terms of a relationship, something that happened or something that somebody did to you now has you looking at them differently. So the energy is weird when y'all around each other, or y'all don't communicate anymore, or there's that real weird tension that exists when y'all in the same room or what have you. In terms of with reconciliation, you want to be a bigger person and clear the air with these people. A friend who you was once tight with for a long time, a family member, cousin, aunt, uncle, or immediate sibling, brother, sister. You want to initiate a conversation or communication with that person so that you can address the elephant in the room. Listen, this thing happened. This, that, and the third happened. I don't agree with that. But all right, we ain't cool no more. I respect it. But moving forward, are we good? You want to ask that question. You want to address that conversation. And then if y'all good, y'all good. If y'all not, it is what it is. But moving forward, you want to have it so that when y'all in the same room, like, it's not those weird, nasty looks and that tension existing in the room anymore. You want to try and get to a cordial place to where, all right, respectfully, I'm going to keep my distance from you. And we're going to keep it at that. Right? Sometimes that's where you want to reconcile those situations so that you don't have to be looking over your shoulder or feel like iffy or weird about certain things and people. Right? Yeah. So a question for y'all in the audience. In the comments, can you tell me an example of when you either reconciled a situation that to where it became better, or y'all got back to a good place, or when you attempted to reconcile a situation and it necessarily turned out the way you wanted it to, and y'all just kept it at, all right, respectfully, we ain't messing with each other, but moving forward, there's no disrespect, there's no animosity, I don't feel any way towards you, we just don't speak anymore, and that's that. In the comments, drop me some examples of when y'all dealt with that. So I wanted to address this because, like I said in episode 5, the last episode, I kind of left things, unanswered in some ways. But this episode was to close out those ideas that I didn't finish, right? To say that even when people are being impetuous towards you, or being impulsive, or acting weird towards you, being emotional or what have you, that's on them. That's on them. And sometimes in life, you may not get to a point where y'all get to, meet each other halfway. Sometimes the best thing is to either leave it alone. To leave it alone. Because closure is not always necessary in that situation. Or some people just don't deserve to be in your life. Like, they don't deserve your energy. Right? Some people just bring forth chaos, drama, like nasty vibes, nasty energy, toxicity, always being negative. Like, there's just people in life that are always like that. And you don't necessarily have to welcome that into your life, man. As you get older, you want to have peace. You want to have peace in your heart. You want to be at peace with people and the relationships that you have that mean something to you, that are important. You want to keep relationships around that give you life and that don't drain you from life. Like, take your life force, take your energy to where you feel like, damn, every time I come around this person, I speak to this person, or this person come around me, like, I feel like I'm suffocating and I just feel dark as hell because they're bringing you down. Some people will always be that. And you got to learn to accept that and move on so that you can be at peace and centered in your life. Yeah. I think this episode and the whole message behind this episode was really for me. Because I'm at a point in my life, or a point in my life and the type of person where I usually want to reconcile situations. I often I hope or wish too much for things to be good between me and people. I sit in that place way too long. Like, I'm sensitive when it comes to that. But I'm the one suffering. Like, people move on in their life. Like, right? And it's okay for me not to have these people in my life selfishly. Right? For me, I want this to be this way. But life will show you, they will show you that it's not going to be that. And you have to let go of that idea of what you hope or wish things will be. How things will be. You got to let that go. Right? So, reconciliation. Like I left off and closed out episode 5. You want to do everything in your power to be a better person, to ensure that the relationships that you have in your life mean something, and that you're, again, being a better person, that you're growing, that you're not staying stagnant and staying in a place that you're suffering, right? We all want to be better. We all want to be better for ourselves and for the people that are around us. And in order for us to be that or get there, we got to put in the work. It's not easy, but you have to put in that work, right? An open space for new people to come into your life, new friendships. All friendships are not going to last eternal. It's not going to be a lifetime thing, right? Some people come into your life for certain seasons and only for certain reasons. They're not there to be there forever. And you have to learn to accept that for what it is. And yeah, man, I'm going to close out on that. I hope y'all enjoyed this. This was a quick, follow up to things I left in the air with episode 5. And I hope y'all enjoy this. Keep tapping in with me. Keep showing me love. I appreciate y'all. And on that note, this is the Heard You Beloved podcast. This is Eric J. West. And I'm out. Peace.